Hello, my dear friends. Good morning and good evening. Namaste, namaskar, and bonjour, whichever language, whichever country you belong to. A warm welcome to this wonderful session. A great opportunity where we are able to exchange our ideas, our thoughts about on various aspects of life. And I consider this as a wonderful platform. I'm deeply honored. It's a great privilege that we are able to talk through life. And life is always going to be challenging. Life is going to produce a lot of unprecedented events, unforeseen events, unfortunate events too. But how do we handle it with care? And how do we overcome? As human beings, if we are going to walk in life with an assumption that all is going to be well and nothing is going to go wrong, then I think we are making a big mistake. Because I'm not trying to say that nothing is going to go well, I'm not trying to say that nothing is going to go great. All will be fine. But then there are variations in life, like ECG, right? There are variations, the heartbeat variations. If there is a straight line, you know that you are a dead person. Likewise, the life is going to be kind of dead life, where there is not going to be any kind of life in it, that's dead life, and such a person will assume, fine, all is going to be well. But a person who is wise enough, he will understand that this world is going to bring a lot of changes, political changes, economical changes, environmental changes, social changes, so many changes. And how we are going to be influenced negatively, positively determines how we are going to overcome. What are the strategies to overcome? Are you well prepared or not? Your life will be put to test through situations and how prepared you are. That's the whole objective of this motivational speeches, where we bring in various aspects of our life, professional life, personal life, emotional life. Emotions are part of our life. Now, how do we handle those? So many things we speak. Once again, a warm welcome. Another beautiful day, another beautiful moment, and we are here to discuss through very important subject. And the title of today's session is Leadership Excellence. Well, you've heard this topic many times. You might have gone through communication training programs and stuff like that. And a lot of paid trainings people go and get engaged, and a lot of people are even trainers. Some of you listening to me are trainers. You're well versed in this concept. Fine, no problem. But give me an opportunity to present the little that I know, that we could discuss together, we could learn together, and we could excel together as leaders, right? So let me make it very clear. Whatever we're going to discuss now, I've taken little help from my Google Assistant, but don't worry, I won't be reading things and boring you. So we will see what best to discuss the next 15 minutes, all right, and we will close it in style. Now, what we are going to discuss now, it's just not something related to corporate world, how to handle and challenges at workplace, and not only that, but it's going to also help you to research, introspect through your life, how prepared you are as a human being, how prepared you are as a leader, how prepared you are as a husband or as a spouse, as a wife, running the house, and so many things. Women are really involved in so many things. They have tremendous responsibility in this society, and I salute every women listening to me. You are the leaders, you are the true leaders. If something is wrong in your leadership skill, your home is going to be shaken. You have to support your husband. That's definitely a tremendous responsibility. Every wife listening to me, give a big applause to yourself and appreciate and give a pat on your back. You are the pillars of the nation, you are the pillars of the world. God bless you. All right. Now, what are the qualities of a leader? If we address those 15 to 20 parameters, naturally you will excel as a leader. There is no two ways about it, there is no doubt about it. What are the different attributes of a leader? Now, who is the leader? Many people have many definitions. A leader is a person who is a visionary. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of Indian nation, had a different vision, and that different vision allowed him to take a different approach. And the different approach really attracted many people. He did not go around and canvas as how a lot of netas in our country and across the world go and canvas for their party. Oh, come vote us and we will give you this freebies, this and that. Nothing. Mahatma Gandhi fought for one vision, independence. That's it. How to get that independence? Later, when he got into the actual role, he discovered many ideas. Many ideas evolved. Different, Satyagraha, so many different ideas evolved. And he fought it through non-violence. Ahimsa was his pattern. Ahimsa was his method of fight. And you know that, what a great thriving event it became, what a victorious event it became, that we got independence in the year of 1947, August 15th. Wonderful, isn't it? So that is the definition of a leader. Other people say that, leaders are one who handle emotion very, very well. They will never get angry, they never lose temper. Who said that? You should talk to their PAs. You will know they are some of the angriest people on planet Earth. That's not actually true, but how they present themselves in the public, that public outlook really matters. Entrepreneurs listening to me, or some of the leaders, corporate leaders, managers, or head of your home, elders listening to me, that's very important, you know but suppressing emotions within you will lead you to outburst at some point of time, and the outburst is going to be really terrible. People will even end up in killing themselves, right? And that is not a great idea. Suppressing emotions is not a great idea. But how do you handle emotions? Presenting emotions, or building that outlook, outward appearance is quite a thing. But what is more important is how do you handle your inside, the instincts. That is really important. So there are various things that you and I can think of a leader. But what are those attributes? When you have all these 15 to 20 attributes set right, then nothing can shake. No circumstance, no event, no situation, no human being, no challenges could shake you. That's why you see some of the leaders are solid in their business. They can never be shy. I don't want to pull any name because it will become bad example or a good example. People will start debating, oh, what do you know about that guy and all that. So forget it. You have your own judgment, right? You have seen certain leaders as your inspirers for several years, several decades. They excel in their business. Maybe your spiritual gurus, they're really consistent. No corruption charges against them. There are good politicians whom you can take as examples, true leaders. I told you one of my greatest inspirers is Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, he might have done few mistakes according to the world history, but I'm not going to get into that, which I don't even want to discuss or consider it as a mistake, because his situation was like that he has to take certain decisions. But we will not get into that. There are plus and minus in every human being, but we will consider the plus. They are consistent in that plus. If you were to look at minus, right, then this is going to take a different route. We will not get into that. Every leader has a negative side too, but I'm not going to talk about that. But we'll talk about the positive side and how consistent they are. What makes them more consistent? Already 8 minutes gone. All right, now let's get into the attributes. Now, what are the attributes? My Google Assistant is helping me on the other side, so forget him. You can't see him, only I can see him. Okay, that's a secret. First attribute, communication. When I say communication, right, people talk about accent, presentation skills, outlook, the dress code, this and that and all that. Very important. But then that holds only 5% weightage. You won't believe this. All this outlook, all this matters by only 5%. There are great communicators, great dictators. Sorry to take this name. Adolf Hitler had a different way of communication. He gathered the entire Germany right under his nose, and all were inspired by his speech. You talk about various communicators they had. What is the power of communication? Power of communication is not just the accent or aggression or the style of walks and talks and all that. It's as good as like transferring your thoughts into other person's brain. That's it. If you're able to transfer what is in your mind into other person's mind, that is called as mind to mind communication. Is nothing but communication, or mind to mind conversation is called as communication. While you are communicating, there could be controversies, there could be challenges, there could be negative questions, or there could be negative thoughts, or even people are ready to create a brawl or a fight or something like that. How do you handle that and influence that person? That's another attribute, but we will get into that. Is also called as the communication skills, right? Communication is not sold without influencing skills. Communication is very, very important. And secondly, on communication, The language matters, right? Grammatical errors, you could look for it. And a simple conversation, you talk to Indians, you talk in Indian accent. I've known many Indians settled in US, and they talk to Indians in American accent, mixing Indian accent with American accent. It sounds terrible, horrible and terrible. Please don't do that. Disgusting. But I've known many humble Indians that have settled in US for almost 20-25 years that literally typically talk in Indian accent, right? Even worse than my accent. And I used to knock their doors and ask, what makes you to talk that, and why I should lose my originality? That's it. I am who I am. I can't change my skin color. Then why are you changing all this stylish action? See, people, Indians who are born and brought up in US, their accent is different. That's understandable, right? I'm just taking an example, but no offenses. Huh? If you're trying to bring up that accent, fine, no problem. But never ever think that accent is going to attract people. Communication is all about transferring your thought into other person's mind, and check on that person whether he has understood that or not. And before transferring the thought from your mind to other person's mind, check on your own thought, right? Whether it's making sense or not and all that. And communication also brings listening skills. You got to listen to your own voice. Now, I can spend a lot of time on communication alone, but what makes a person a good leader? Who is a good leader? These attributes we are trying to cover. Communication is one aspect. So let's move on. Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? You should be able to read the mindset of a person. When you communicate in auditorium, right, or when you're communicating in a group, there could be an atmosphere in that group, whether it's boring, people hate you, is it like a, they look at it like a hate speech, or it's a boring speech, or what is that? You should be able to read. Accordingly, you need to change the pattern of your presentation. Accordingly, you need to change. Sometimes you might have gone with the script A, but that doesn't work. You should immediately have that kind of intelligence to switch to script B, which is dynamic. You might not have prepared it, but you got to change it. It got to be dynamic. Very, very challenging skill. That's called as emotional intelligence. Okay, this is group communication, group emotion, handled, to way to handle emotional intelligence. But one-on-one, right? You should not ever enter inside a room one-on-one talking, husband to wife, wife to husband, and children to parents, parents to children. You should never ever assume today is going to be a great day for me. I'm going to get inside the room. I'm going to communicate what I have to. The other person will accept. No. You actually should enter with plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and plan Z, with an assumption this person is never going to agree with me. I'm sorry, because I have to say this, right? Many times I have been put to shame when I've gone to with this mindset that definitely today is going to be a victorious day, and I'm going to definitely convey what is in my mind and all that. This person will be influenced. No, I've walked out of the room with a turned face, and please don't do that. Go with a kind of a plan B, that there is going to be negativity, that this person might get angry, this person might lose a school, this person might have various questions, he will disagree or she will disagree. How could I handle it? Going with some preparation is called as emotional intelligence. Thirdly, emotional intelligence means accept the person as a person, right? You can't change his character, you can't change his attitude. Certain people are like that. They are born and brought up like that, right? And you cannot just get into a conversation and try to change their emotions, tune their emotions. No, it may need some time, but it's not going to be instantaneous. That's called as emotional intelligence, reading a person's mindset, and accordingly you get adjusted to the situation. Accept the person as he is. These are the aspects a leader must truly understand. Never forget this. All right, second quality. Third quality, integrity. Integrity is all about it. You know why integrity is a very important aspect? Integrity is very important to win a person's trust. Winning a person's trust is never easy. It might take decades to win a person's trust. It might take few days to win a person's trust. It depends with whom you are dealing with. Some people are, you may think they're hard nuts to crack and all that. You look at them that way. Actually, you are on the negative side. No, they are hard nuts to crack. Why are they hard nuts to crack? What is that so sturdy in them? You got to focus on them, because your focus is on winning their trust. And integrity is all about your behavioral pattern. Are you a person who's trustworthy? That different aspects of your life, are you trustworthy? Don't have a double standard kind of tongue, lying tongue, and changing your stand and all that. And when you speak something, stick to it and learn to apologize. If you cannot fulfill your commitment, learn to apologize. People will accept it. There are various ways to win a person's trust, and I'm not going to get into the details. Integrity is very, very important. Next is decision making, fourth important thing. 20 attributes in front of me. Let's see how best to cover. Very important, decision making skills. The world is literally struggling to make right decisions. Many people whom I have mentored, whom I work with, whom I work under, even my bosses, they tend to struggle to make decisions. Decision making skill is very, very important. How can I make the right decision? You got to check on the pros and cons. You got to check on the probabilities. You got to do some homework. You got to do some exercises. You got to talk to people. You got to consult certain people. That's how decision making skills are going to be groomed. And it's not going to be easy, right? Certain decisions related to finance, we were very careful. Why? Because money. But certain decisions related to relationship, decision related to emotions, decision related not to hurt people. No, why I should be bothered? Before typing in Facebook, you make any decisions? No. It's like water running out of the tap. Immediately you rush to type. No, decision really matters. And decision is also about judgmental skills. Not judging a person, but then judging the situation, judging the circumstance. And that leads you to a right decision, and that's very important. You don't focus on that, right? You will have a terrible problem in everything that you do. I forgot the number. Let's go to the next one. I think it's the fifth one, right? Creativity. Now we are discussing through the various attributes that makes a person a good leader. Creativity is very, very important. A person involved in a static job, same job, 20 years, 30 years, how are you able to survive, right? um, Same way of mechanical job you do, right? You don't grow, you don't excel. You may be a great worker, you may be a wonderful laborer, your employer is very, very happy, but then you are not growing. Your leadership skills are become, turning blunt. You're not giving enough room for your brains to bring out that creativity. Everyone that are born in this world have creativity. Do you believe it or not? Your brain is really supernatural. You don't know the power of your brains, beloved. Great scientists, they have not used their brain more than 2-3%. That's what a study says. Even Isaac Newton, or Sir whatever, right? Our Abdul Kalam ji, or so many great scientists, rocket man of India, they have not used more than 4 to 5%. That's what a study says. And some of the brains are filled with lots of neurons. The brain size itself is large. Yeah, they took certain persons, a scientist brain, and they researched size itself is large with so many neurons, and therefore their intelligence is good and all that. Even those people have not used their brains more than several percentage. Use your brains. Your brain is filled with a lot of supernatural stuff, and using the brains, bringing out the thoughts and ideas is very, very important for you to be successful as a leader. Creativity, right? Self-awareness is very, very important. Do not walk in assumption, and a good leader will never walk in assumption. Why? Because he has the habit to check on himself. He will turn around and take feedback. He will he will take even feedback from his competitors. He may have little mole here and there. He will check with his competitors what they think of me. He will check with his subordinates. He will dress himself as a laborer and go and get mingled with one of the laborers, and he will hear those talks, dirty talks, no problem. But then he is ready to face that. Such a person is a good leader, right? The self-awareness, be aware of who you are. That's very important. Accountability is the next important attribute. Take some time to digest. You may have to rewind this tape. Very, very important session, right? Leaders are not to be called as entrepreneurs, politicians, and all that, right? The business people and all that. You're a leader to run your home. You got to be a good leader, right? Self-awareness is very, very important. You talk to your children, you talk to your wife, or you talk to your children's friend. What do they talk about me? My father is a monster or what? You really need to understand. You will be shocked. Lot of facts will come out. Huh? Be very careful. Children are very smart. Accountability is the next character, right? Attribute. Accountability. You are accountable. A good leader will always come forward to protect his subordinates when something goes wrong. When something goes great, and all the credit he will give to his subordinates or his team. That's the accountability, they take, and they will stand by their team, whether good or bad. They will stand by their team. Accountability is very, very important. Next attribute is confidence. My time is already up. We will cover a few more points. Confidence is very, very important. Don't be overconfident, or don't let your confidence not be shaken. Be confident in what you're doing because you assessed all this, right? You did all your study groundwork. Be very confident to get into what you have decided to move on, and therefore, nothing shall shake your mind. People will say 20 things, but then consider, but don't consider everything. You should be able to tick some things and put cross mark against certain things. Only that thing will ensure, that habit will ensure that you are walking confidently as a person. I think my time is up. Therefore, last two attributes: problem solving. Maybe what we can do is, I'll continue in part 2. Why we should rush like this? Can we have a part 2? All right. We will continue in part 2. Therefore, I don't want to rush. God bless you. Take care and watch out for the next session, part 2. What makes a person a good leader? In other words, leadership excellence. We are talking through this. God bless you. Take care. Stay tuned. I will meet you soon. Share this video with whomever you know. May everyone benefit. God bless you. Namaste.